So we're recording. Good morning, Mia.
Good morning, team.
Well, I am in the woods. This is my Friday Ascension update, week 12, and I have my most beautiful guest with me today, Mia. I'm sure everybody knows Mia very well and the work that you've been doing. And
Thank
what
you.
the Awakening Activator.
Yeah, consciously and subconsciously, even my chiropractor the other day, he was like, I want to change my entire life after you came here the other day. Like, what are you doing?
What have you done to me?
Exactly. I'm gonna change everything. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Well, we were just having a little chat before we started recording about what's going on in the world at the moment. I mean, the thing that I love so much about all of the work that we do, kind of individually and collectively, is and even my 18-year-old confirmed this the other day, Mia. He literally said the words to, I mean, he said the words to me that I had spoken in my Friday update as we were driving in the car. He said, "Yeah, isn't it funny how we all get the information from a shared pool, but we all interpret it in our own way as it comes through?" And there's so much coming through at the moment, but we've got our beady eyes on April, haven't we?
Yeah, and it's so interesting because I feel that we've been prepared inside of us for, it has been so many inner changes, and now it's like, now it's time for the outer changes. It's really that energy in April where we can no longer wait for the changes, and we know the truth now. And it's like the universal laws, the universal principles are like being activated within us. And when we
Mm.
start to live by, understanding cause and effect, the law of one, like all of that, the entire life and our existence changes. And I can see it in my life, I can see it in those around us, that you get out of the alignment of the universal laws, and then you witness that because your life becomes pretty not nice, and the energy just shifts immediately. And
Yeah.
then you just like go back to alignment and like, okay, that's old behaviors, old thoughts come back, old emotions come back. And that's, I mean, it has taken quite a long time for us to integrate and reactivate and remember and to start to live by the universal laws that they kind of removed from our consciousness.
Absolutely. It's interesting to note what we agreed to deliberately put aside in order to experience the third dimension, but it has really come back so powerfully, like you said, in the last 2 years. Awakening to remember, and it's not a comfortable process. I don't think anybody out there can kind of go, "Hey, yeah, I'm just enjoying every second of my ascension process. It's such fun." You know what I mean? The quantity of work that we've agreed to do is monumental. I've always marveled at how quickly we've chosen to embody these changes compared to, say, the Sirius constellation, who took 300 years to do what we're doing. We've chosen to do it in 20, and even with that minuscule little pocket of time, we are way ahead of schedule. So I don't know whether I've said these numbers to you, Mia, but apparently, and this is information via Diana Cooper, 37% of this planet is now awakened. 37%, that's billions of people who are actually learning to re-embody their mighty I am presence. You know, we are we are the mighty I am presence, but to actually actively step into it, operating on, like you say, under the law of one, the universal principles, everything that is going to be the foundation of our fifth dimensional future, that's another matter altogether, isn't it?
Yes, and when we start to notice every single moment we feel separation,
Hmm.
that's when we can keep coming back to the law of one. We feel the separation because of the programs, the conditionings, the past lifetimes, and then we move into oneness. And that is a massive change. And also remembering, beyond the conditioning, the programs and the controllers streaming, that we are, cosmic sovereign beings, and that we are entitled to live anywhere in the world that we want. And that, whatever country tries to restrict you to be in one place. And we just really understand this now on a very deep, deep, deep core level,
Mm.
which means that we will see so many people move, do massive changes. And we do also understand that to do the mission is not be, a quantum healer only, or, a channeler. To do the mission is to move, to clear, to
Mm.
evolve, to follow your dreams, to be a creator of the new earth. So once we understand that, because that was like a matrix in itself, like the
Yeah.
false light, where everyone just like, the only way to do mission is to be a healer, and then it's like, oh, it doesn't go, it doesn't work.
No.
But we are healers wherever we go. What everything, every moment we step out of our house, we are doing mission. Every moment we are in our house, we are doing mission, because we're anchoring in, strengthening the light pillar we're being asked to. So when we understand that, there's no more chasing, the struggle stops, and we start to understand that, wow, I can start to enjoy, and I have these gifts that, I'm just using them as people comes into my space, experiencing comes into my space. Because now when we start to resonate, in this highest attraction vibration, we don't need to chase our goals, it just
That's
comes in. Yeah.
that's so true. I mean, this has been mentioned in a couple of live workshops that I've done recently about the alignment with your highest pathway. And I mean, even I went through the kind of like the push pull kind of chasing the dream kind of thing initially. I mean, I started off pushing as hard as I possibly could. I had my goal, I had my target in my head, and of course, I was left stood outside the halls of Amenti, kind of like knocking on the door for years, until I just literally stood back, let go. My vibrations started to rise. Everything happened fluidly, and it's safe to say now that everybody on the light path who's changed their frequency and begun the process has access to their halls of Amenti. This was very kind of this was just after the cosmic moment in 2013, and of course the entire planet's vibration is utterly completely different now. It's just gone through the roof. um the whole concept of pushing to get what we want is totally out of alignment with the flow of energy that moves through this entire spiritual process. So it sounds like a cliche, but it always is: let go and let God.
Yeah,
Let go and
definitely.
let God.
And the whole divine feminine energy, we still haven't embodied that. I mean,
No.
the divine feminine energy is all about, I mean, the divine, let's say divine now, not the wounded, not the distorted, not the old template of the feminine. The
Yeah.
divine feminine is really that, of course, nurturing, but we are not taking responsibility over what is not ours. And we allow flow. We don't feel bad or irresponsible because we are flowing. I mean, this is also for the male bodies, the divine feminine in all of us. We allow change, because before, I mean, the program was like, you can't change, you can't quit, you can't do this. It's like allowing the feminine to flow, because the feminine will really flow into what is in the highest all the time, and the masculine holds space. So the
Yeah.
divine feminine, the Sophianic encodement, is still undergoing massive activations in the earth crust. So we can see this, and I think we can feel it inside of us. I still need to like soften into the feminine over and over again, because I have this like warrior energy where it's like, "Ah, did you try to attack me?" Like,
Come on then.
like, only 37% awakened? What? Tim, we need to go to work. So it's like, Okay, so that energy is like really new to this planet.
Yeah.
And it's not lazy, it's incredible creative energy. When that energy flows, we will be able to create beyond what we have created before here on Earth.
I thoroughly agree, and the same applies to, I mean, an even newer kind of bandwidth of energy, an even newer set of coding that's coming is the divine
Mm.
masculine. And of course, this is
Yes.
all the first half of the ascension process was achieved by saturating this planet with divine feminine energies, basically to almost glass over the old, the kind of the almost like the patriarchal kind of starchiness and authoritarianism of the third dimension, in order to actually move out of that, to move out of the cage, to kind of break the chains. There had to be this huge surge of divine feminine energy coming in for the first 10 years. And of course, immediately with that intensive amount, the temporarily was an imbalance. And so then, and this was evident, and I've seen it so many times over the years. Everybody attending the spiritual events and the workshops would invariably be women, and occasionally there'd be some guy had been dragged along by the missus who'd be sat there, kind of sat there in the corner. By by lunchtime, he's opened up and he's enjoying himself. But what opens my heart now is seeing how many more divine masculine souls are stepping up. But it's still a game of numbers, isn't it? And one thing that I've really began to identify is the fact that the divine masculine template isn't exclusively reserved for the spiritual field. It's just going to be all around the world with
Mm.
strong that strong heart-centered role stepping up. And I always love the triggers that occur, because the matrix, the place that we've come from, the one that everybody's running away from, detaching, escaping, that serves the light, because the harder it struggles to retain control, the and the more obvious it becomes, the more people detach from it and wake up. It's doing us the most amazing service at the moment. I mean, on one side I say, don't watch the news, don't tune into social media, don't take any of this personally, just step away from it. They're trying to pick a fight. You see it
Mm.
all the time. It's pick pick pick. It's like somebody coming up to you in the pub and shoving you in the chest continuously until you react. And the responses from the awakened side are amazing, because they're just like peace, love.
Mm.
Like, shove all you like. We don't care. We're getting what we want. We're going where we're going. We've re-established this mighty I am presence, this connection. It's rooted in peace, unity, love, oneness, all of the other frequencies, and that is the role that the divine masculine will be stepping into. But they might not necessarily be attending workshops. And I like making this joke in front of live audiences, because it's blatantly obvious within the field. There's 5, 6, maybe 10 guys attending a workshop, maybe more if the numbers are bigger, but predominantly that field is still held by the divine feminine. And I've always found that very interesting.
Yeah, I think though that we have some work to do, the females also, to
Yeah.
soften. So as I said, that the divine feminine is not fully here anchored. So this means that we that have a female body, we have some work to soften, to allow the men to feel comfortable to come in,
Yeah.
because this is not, that old goddess war anymore,
No.
from Egypt timelines where we had men as slaves. But that
My man
timeline,
slave.
yeah, is being cleared. So I do believe many times when I do work with women that we really need to soften. And of course, when we feel that we want to hold space for the man to step in, and the masculine, and the masculine energy in all women and men that is distorted is also coming in now, as you say, and it's just awakening, because they don't want to be stuck. So even the men that are not spiritual are
Hmm.
coming into the field because they want to access freedom. And if social media is doing something, they're really good to spread out all these men that have so much freedom because they're plugged out from the matrix, so to say.
Mm.
And if you start that road, you will go spiritual, like
Yeah, it's it's
sooner or
it's it's
later.
a one-way road, isn't it,
Yeah.
basically? There's no turn-offs, there's no junctions, there's no roundabouts. It's straight there, isn't it? Straight into the center of the heart. I like that.
It's so interesting that we talked about this because I did got this information about creating a Merkaba when we are in Glastonbury in May. So when you come on the sign day, they told me that we will place men in a specific like symbol, and then the women, and that will create a Merkaba, and we will start to circulate in different energies, and then that energy will be spread out. So
Okay.
it's actually incredible what we can do because we also have decided to have a female body and you have a male body, and many times we work with this, you and me, when we do our webinars. You anchor in that stabilize, and I can go all nuts, in my female, and I'm
Yeah.
but this can actually really be done very powerfully, as we did in Egypt. We unlocked a lot of energies through creating actually physical Merkabahs, but also in Atlantis.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's interesting that we talk about this right now, actually,
It is
because it's
interesting,
really.
isn't it, how it all pans out, and there's a lot of these Egyptian timelines are coming back for people at the moment, but I always have to kind of stop and kind of, particularly as a reminder for people that get very hooked in and hung up on it, that Egypt was the first port of call after Atlantis sank. So a huge tribe of Atlanteans went to Egypt. It was where they landed after the fall straight away. The majority of them completely traumatized, having taken the step down in the energy, and then they set about retaining as much of the Atlantean civilization and culture as they possibly could, while the frequency of the magic and all of the powers and the activations that we had were basically dissipating into the sand around us. And the same was applying to everywhere else in the world, where the other 11 tribes kind of went off in all of these different directions. So there was a huge amount of distortions that were inserted into the Egyptian timeline simply because the energy was devolving naturally, so that we could spend that 10,000 years in the third dimension. So there was all of these things going on, and that's when the kind of the weight of the Atlantean mind control really began to set in, wasn't it? And began to affect everybody that was living there.
Yeah, we have traumas. First root race Lemuria, second root race Atlantis, third
Yeah,
third root race Egypt. But and also in Egypt, that's when they really started to spread the black magic out into the walls and started to change the history.
yeah,
So of course, I can see that in my private sessions that many are like retrieving information that they have stored into the Egyptian timelines and to certain like chambers in certain pyramids. It's really interesting because now we are retrieving actually the information that we knew could not be, taken until now, until we're safe in this incarnation, which also says a lot about how safe we are in this incarnation. We don't need to
absolutely.
fear. Our nervous system still sometimes react out of like fear of showing up in your power and your spirituality and your gifts, but we are safe now. That's why we are retrieving so incredible information now.
That's such a beautiful point. Is the ability now to wake up to be who we are and to work in safety, because the framework of energy around us is now so solid that it can only be distorted if we apply ourselves to the distortions that are available. So we can the energy and the frequency within which we live has been designed specifically for people to step into their power, to reclaim their sovereignty, to embody the mighty I am presence, and to open their hearts as wide as possible and just get stuck in, basically. But one of the biggest things that I think will be occurring, and I've heard you mention it again and again, is reclamation of sovereignty. Reclamation of our rights as human beings on this planet. And that's a really big one for people at the moment, because there's so much, like the entire premise of the 3D matrix is anti-sovereignty. It's about control. And now we've moved, Pluto has moved into Aquarius, and we've got eclipse season coming up. We've got all of this astrological goodness, or whatever, like people are bracing themselves for it. What's the eclipse going to do? What's the next retrograde going to do? Like, oh my god, we're going to get battered. No, we're not. This is here for us to step up into. So it's about how our minds work. And I think a lot, I've mentioned this to you before, Mira, I think the vast majority of light workers have got to kind of heal their own PTSD from living under the circumstances that we've been living in. It's what we make it at the end of the day.
Yeah, and also the light workers, we need to face our ego from another perspective, because being in your ego will not work anymore. And with that, I don't mean thinking you're too big or better than others, but also playing too small.
Yeah.
That ego too. And I keep saying this on my trainings. I'm like, it's your freaking responsibility to stop playing small. Now, when you know that the system is rigged,
Yeah,
we cannot play small anymore. Who are you serving? Like,
absolutely.
and that's important. Like, no more playing small. We're not serving anymore anyone except the old ancestor lineage that like just crying and like, can you not stop? Didn't you come here to fix that contract
Yeah,
for us?
yeah, I know.
So
No
yes,
more tiny light working, you know what I mean? You
so
got to
so
get.
we're being pushed. We're being pushed. Not only, I mean, I don't see too many thinking they're too big. More like, oh no, let's play safe and not show who I am,
I
right?
don't want to be seen or heard. We all
Mm-hmm.
we all have that fear. It's one of the oldest initiations in the book, isn't it? Being
Yeah.
seen by friends, family, loved ones, co-workers. Um, but again, I'm always very happy to see that people are actually more than happy to step out and be themselves now. So that just goes to show that because it is a numbers game at the end of the day, the percentage of people in a state of awakenedness on the planet matters. And when we get to 50%, that's such an overwhelming quantity of people standing in that power that the entire timeline will shift to reflect that
Yes.
open-heartedness. It's already happening, even now. And but we've still got to kind of go through the process of waiting for people to begin to acknowledge the fact that the sixth veil has come off the third eye, that they can see that they are being subject to the same frequencies and energies that we are.
So what if that little percentage going up to 50 is the only thing that requires that everyone show up in all that they are? What if that is the little glitch left?
Yeah,
Can be. I
yeah,
mean,
I
from
wouldn't.
30 to 50, like, if everyone just stopped playing smaller and hiding, and it's like, then the rest will be like, whoa, okay, what happened to her or him? I want that.
I don't recognize that person anymore. What the hell?
And we will trigger them to awakening, or we will inspire them to awakening.
that's our
Anyway, they will wake up.
that's our job. That is our job. Well, we're going to be coming together soon, aren't we? In physical, in Wedmore
Yes.
near Glastonbury. Mate. I'm very excited about this. It's going to be. What's the date? When are you landing in
It,
Glastonbury?
So the 24th, I'm warming up the field with some ecstatic light language meditation ceremony on the Friday.
Yeah.
And then the 25th of May, we're going to work like deeper into our soul mission. And then you come on the Sunday and we are going to realign our soul mission. And last year was epic. It
It's
was
beautiful.
so beautiful. I was like, people were saying they were like energized for months after. It was actually really transformational. It was very, very beautiful.
Yeah. And you've
Mhm.
still got some spaces available, haven't you? So
Yes, I managed to open up some more. I'm gonna fix with the assistant so they can be back on the stage with us because so many wanted to have. So many think it's fully booked, but we have like
Oh,
15 spots left.
yeah.
So
So grab your spaces while you still can, and that's Wedmore in Glastonbury, near Glastonbury, on the
yeah,
24th to the 26th of May. So not that far away at all. Couple of months.
come.
Yay, indeed. Well, Mia, it's been an absolute pleasure to see you this morning. Thank you so much for joining
Thank
me.
you. Thank you, Tim, for having
And
me.
yeah, and sending you all lots of love. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you again soon. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.